You're applying for jobs, and most jobs require experience, but you have no experience. So, how do you apply? Hi there, welcome to the Arlington Employment Center's YouTube channel. In this video, I'll guide you through how to write your first resume so that you can get a job. By the end of this video, you'll be able to identify the parts of a resume, explain what to include in each part of the resume, and explain how to format a resume. But most importantly, you'll determine what you'll be including in your experience section since you're writing a resume with little or no work experience. Throughout the video, I'll be referencing our no experience resume template. There's a link to the template in the description below. Feel free to download it and use it to get started writing your own resume. Let's start with the parts of a resume. Your resume should include your contact information, an objective, your education, your relevant experience, your skills, and possibly other sections such as awards and certifications or hobbies and interests. We're going to break down each of these parts so you know exactly what to include in each section. Let's start with your contact information. While this might seem obvious, it's important that you include your contact information on your resume so that the hiring manager can contact you. At the top of your resume, you should include your name, phone number, email address, and address. You should use your first and last name and make sure that your voicemail is set up and professional. Use a standard email address such as your first name dot last name at email.com and double and triple check your phone number and email address. If you type these wrong, the hiring manager has no way to contact you. For your address, you can write out your whole address or just your city and state. Again, check out the link in the description below to see what the contact information looks like on our no experience resume template. You'll see from our template that the space for your contact information is at the top. If you download and use this template, you'll replace the information that's there with your own personal information. After your contact information, you'll put your objective. High school students, college students, and new job seekers can use objective statements to explain how their education, skills, and experience meet the qualifications for the position. In the first sentence, you want to explain your education and experience and name the position that you're applying for. And in that second and third sentences, you can explain how your skills relate to the position. It's important to note that you'll want to change this section for each job that you apply for. Check out the link in the description below to see what the objective looks like on our template. If you're feeling stuck, looking at some examples can help you get started. Indeed has an article titled Student Resume Objectives, Definition, and Examples in their career guide that has sample objectives that you can look at. The link to the article is in the description below. At the very end of the article, they have some examples of objectives for common jobs. After reading some examples, you should be ready to write your own objective. You'll see on our no experience resume template that we've briefly explained what an objective is and linked back to that Indeed article. If you download and use the template, you'll replace the information with your own objective statement. In traditional resumes, the experience section comes after the objective. However, since you don't have much experience, you'll want to emphasize your education. So we'll put that section next. At a minimum, your education section should include your most recent education experience, including the degree, where you got the degree from, and when you got the degree. You should only include a high school degree if that's your only degree or highest level of education experience. And depending on your situation, you might be able to add more items to your education section. Other things you can include under your education include your GPA and honors. Employers typically don't care about your grades, but if you have a GPA over 3.5 and received an honors degree, feel free to mention it. You can also include relevant coursework. When including coursework under the education section, just make sure that it ties directly back to the skills that the job requires. Again, you can check out the link in the description below to see what that education section looks like on our template. And if you download and use the template, you'll replace the information that we have there with your education information. If you have more than one place to list for education, you can copy and paste the section as many times as you need. You're watching this video because you have no experience. So you're probably thinking to yourself, well, what am I going to put for experience? We're going to think of the next section of your resume as the relevant experience section. Notice here I'm using the word relevant and not work experience. Just because you don't have work experience doesn't mean that you don't have relevant experience. Have you completed an internship somewhere? Maybe you do volunteer work in your neighborhood, school, or community. You might be on some extracurricular activities, or maybe you've completed a big project. All of these things are relevant experiences that belong on your resume. So for internships, you can list your title or role along with the company name and location, as well as how long you interned there. You can do the same thing for volunteering experiences, listing your title and role along with the organization and location and how long you volunteered for. For extracurricular activities, you can list your role along with the name of the organization and location, as well as how long you participated in the activity. So for internships, volunteering experiences, and extracurricular activities, it's important that you include a bulleted list of your relevant tasks and responsibilities because these tasks and responsibilities are going to demonstrate your skills. And if possible, you also want to include your achievements or any tangible results as a result of your tasks and responsibilities. So in other words, results. What good things happened as a result of you completing the tasks and responsibilities? Can you tie any numbers to that? And for projects, you can list the name of the project and related organization, as well as a brief description of the project. If you don't have any of these things, you'll still be able to add more to your resume, so don't sweat it. But I would suggest that you start looking for these opportunities now so that you do have more to add to your resume later. Check out the link in the description below to see what the experience section looks like on our resume template. You'll see on our template that we include all types of experiences, the internship, volunteer, extracurricular, and projects. If you download and use this template, you'll only keep what's relevant to you and delete anything else that isn't relevant. And just like the education section, you can copy and paste to add additional internships, volunteer experiences, activities, or projects. After your experience section, you'll want to include your skills. There are two types of skills you'll want to include on your resume: hard skills and soft skills. You can think of hard skills that are teachable. This could include things like a foreign language, computer programs, technical writing, software. You usually learn hard skills from the classroom, a training, a book, or on the job. On the other hand, you can think of soft skills as the way you relate and interact with others at work. So this could include things like communication, problem solving, teamwork, or time management. These are harder to teach and you gain them through your life experiences. While you should incorporate these skills throughout your resume, as someone with limited experience, you can have a whole section dedicated to just your skills. This is especially important if the job description is asking for specific skills and you have them. So check out the link in the description below to see what the skills section looks like on our no experience resume template. I can see that we have the bullet point for the hard skills and another bullet point for the soft skills. So again, if you download this template, you can just list the hard and soft skills that you have that the job description is looking for. After all of that, if you still have some space to fill on your resume, you can include other sections like awards and certifications and hobbies and interests. Awards and certifications can be included throughout your resume if they're related to specific roles, companies, or organizations, or you can have a separate section completely dedicated to them. Hobbies and interests should only be included on your resume if they directly relate to the positions you are applying for. If your resume is already full after the other sections we talked about, you can feel free to skip these sections altogether. On our no experience resume template, you can see we left some space for these sections. Again, if you need to add more to your resume, you can keep them on there and complete what you can, Or if your resume is already getting close to one page, feel free to delete it. Once you have the content of your resume, you need to consider how you will format your resume. Your resume should follow the standard order of resumes with no or limited experience. So that would be contact information, objective, education, relevant experience, skills, and then any other sections you'd like to include. Your resume should be one page with 1-inch margins, and you should be using an easy to read font with bulleted lists, not complete sentences. One of the best ways to get started is to look at samples of resumes. So I'll provide some links in the description below of some sample resumes. In addition, you should use a template so that you can just fill in your information and not worry too much about the formatting. Throughout the video, I've referenced our no experience resume template. You can click the link to download it and use it, or you can also Google no experience resume templates, first resume templates, and the like to see some other examples. I've also linked additional resources in the description below. Most importantly, proofread your resume and have someone else look at it before you submit it to employers. In this video, we talked about the parts of a resume, what to include in each part of the resume, and how to format your resume. We also spent some time talking about what you'll include in the experience section of your resume. Don't forget to check out the links in the description below for more resources. We hope this video was helpful for you, and best of luck in your job search.